this is Decimal and welcome to Synth News. Today I want to talk about 3 pieces of gear that have sparked my interest. We're changing up the format this time, so let's get into it. The Uranograph has a different interface and workflow. One of the more interesting things are the capacitive touch plates / keys that are made with stainless steel that allow you to play the instrument. They're highly responsive to touch velocity and after touch pressure. Each place translates into a continuous organic sound variation, making it possible to shape phases naturally, kind of like a string or wind instrument. You can also route any parameter of the polyphonic synth engine to the touch plate pressure, and there's also a dedicated knob to set the amount. And it's not a drone synth like the Lyra 8, it's more of an expressive melodic instrument. The synth is divided into 3 different functions. You have articulation, octave shift, and mod keys. The device is built around a digital synth engine that uses a sine wave that is transformed through multiple synthesis techniques that will generate a spectrum of warm organic tones and digital textures. You have multiple methods to modify the primary sine wave, including phase warping and spectral expansion. There's like a Casio CX inspired asymmetry amp distortion and West Coast like wave folding. The primary oscillator can be split into 3 voices, and it also has a sub oscillator as well. You also get a filter amp section that functions as a VCA or low pass gate / VCA hybrid. When it comes to effects, you have a stereo delay and a diffusion knob, so the delay sort of turns into a reverb. When it comes to power and connectivity, it is powered by 12 to 15 volt DC power adapter. You have dual outputs left and right. You have an XLR input preamp and stereo input via 3.5mm jack, and you also have a dedicated level control. You can also find sockets for a TRS MIDI in, out, clock sync input and out. When it comes to price and availability, you can pre-order limited quantities of the first batch for 1552 euros instead of the launch price of 1940 euros, and the developer plans on shipping the first batch around the summertime, the end of summer 2025. Now I want to talk about the Ult-Sound DS-4M ProMuzer. It is a modern reissue of the Toyo DS-4 analog drum synthesizer, and this will be a limited edition for only 50 units. It is a faithful reproduction of the second iteration of the Ult-Sound, and it has some contemporary music production upgrades. So there's some features that are retained in the reissue, and there are some things that are different. So the sub slider has now been replaced with a sustain slider. The sustain pot has now been replaced with a new attack pot, which adds a sharp percussive click to the drum sound. There's a beat sense switch, so like the original, it activates velocity sensitivity, enabling dynamic response to the trigger inputs for expressive playability. It also has MIDI connectivity, so there are 4 independent MIDI channels for each voice, so all 4 voices can also operate on a single MIDI channel. You also have polyphonic mode that enables the multiple control of voices. You have velocity control via MIDI, and you have dynamic gate inputs. So you have trigger inputs for the drum pads, you have CV and gate inputs, you have individual outputs, you have a master, and you have a master balanced output. So the first batch will be shipping in June of 2025. So you could pre-order right now on their website and it will be $2,000 for limited of 50 units. Lastly, I want to talk about Synths Warthog. It is the first, or they are saying it's the first analog modular synthesizer with total recall and DAW integration. Now, I'm not going to go through what every module does, but I'll go over the innovative and the more interesting features about this device. The Warthog has a way where you can recall all physical controls, including patch connectivity, by highlighting where the cables went previously. There's also the ability to morph all parameters and snapshot them in real time to different slots. Also, all parameters can be controlled externally via MIDI. You also have complete DAW integration as well. If you are interested in what modules this device has, here they are. You can just pause the video and read through them. When it comes to price and availability, you can purchase each module individually or the Prima, which is the whole setup, for 2,100 euros. And I'm actually not exactly sure when they will be shipping these units out. Thank you very much for watching a different edition of Synth News. I'm gonna call it maybe Synth News Catch Up, where I cover multiple devices in one video. Let me know if you enjoy this format or you want me to go back into covering one device per video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.